I wonder what that would be used. Well, you see, there's a lot of farmland here, so people will probably be. Let's go over here. What is this? Some sort of lookout tower. I'm going to go up here and have a look. At some stage, yes. Now, look. Speaking of hobos, if you're a hobo, wouldn't this be a wonderful? Well, I'm not even sure whether you can say hobo, so I'll just have to check that before I go on. And so, if you're unable to say that, I'll beat that out. But somebody set this up as a small little house. Really, they've got a bed. It's got windows in here, so it feels like this was perhaps a small and a little chair. It feels like at some stage this is a lookout, or also it might have been somewhere to. I'm not sure whether this height is to stop bears or animals or something like that, or it was a great little. It's almost like a cubby hut, isn't it? And look at that, it's a very rustic old, it looks like something from you can imagine sitting on that in a Melbourne cafe. You can imagine drinking out of that can as well, a lovely latte out of that, and possibly your food might come in, you'd have some sort of bespoke pesto gnocchi, and that'd come in a cardboard box like that, but they'd coat the inside of the cardboard box, and you'd be able to eat the gnocchi out of it. No, you'd have that for a measly $48 and bad attitude from waist up. That's my experience of my time in Melbourne. I don't know whether it's changed anymore, but I can remember it being like that back in the day. It could be anywhere though, really. That's not a Melbourne trait. That's just the nature of the service industry sometimes, where you feel, I'm sure that's not what everybody thinks. A lot of foodies probably have a different, enjoy the time there, but for me, I've found it difficult in the past, particularly whipping in with my high vis. Now, asking for an egg and bacon roll, asking for all the bacon. I remember once working in a cafe when I was a younger man, and a tradesman. This was before I was a tradie. This was when I was just a young barista myself, and a tradesman came in and he said, "What are you doing there?" And I was cooking up all the bacon for the whole day. We'd have a big hot plate full of bacon, and I'd be cooking up the bacon, and you just dob that out into various jaffles and whatnot. And this tradie said, "Oh, mate, do you mind just whipping that into a couple of slices of bread for me?" And I looked him in the eye and I said, "That's all the bacon that we use for the whole day. You may not have that in a couple of slices of bread, but that just goes to show you, doesn't it? For a tradie guy like me, I look at this as an old box. Maybe you could do that up and sell it at an antique shop, and a can and a cardboard box and a bucket there. But for somebody with a bit of vision within the service industry, they're looking at would be a great seat. You could whip a latte in that, the gnocchi, pesto in that, and possibly it wouldn't be a toilet there. I'm not sure what you'd end up using that for. Maybe some sort of communal punch that everybody could. You say it's quite cheap, and everyone pays $15 and they get a glass of that. Again, that's the possibilities of hospitality.